You know who you haven't heard about lately in the news? I mean, he's not here anymore, but all of a sudden the story got forgotten. Twitch. Remember we talked about him some months, no, almost a year ago now. Well, a video resurfaced. It's not a new video, so don't anybody come and say, "Well, that's old news." We know it's old news. However, the bulbs in our head here at Too Strong went boop boop boop, and then eventually just snapped. Paf. This little interaction between Diddy, my girl, Ellen, and Twitch, while they're standing around this little table, and they're having a dialogue over what seems to be a broken joke. Diddy presents her with a shirt, and the shirt says "Love always Diddy" or some nonsense like that about him on it, and some picture on the front. And then she starts to talk about it, and he says, "Well, you can give this to Portia." She was, alive at the time. So you give Portia the shirt, and here you go, blah 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 blah. However, the joke seemed to kind of fizzle out because Ellen didn't seem to follow the line or what it was going. So he stopped and he said, "Now, Ellen, why don't you tell these people how far back we go?" He stops, walks up, and then he huddles them together. And he says something very ominous. Now, again, just the bulbs going off. Something was really weird about what he said because it didn't seem to have anything to do with the joke necessarily, but it wasn't necessarily what he said there that really blew the bulb. That was what started the surge. What blew the bulb was Twitch's face after he said it. He said, "I can get him the tapes if the joke don't work. I don't want no problems." Then he breaks the huddle and comes forward, "Yay!" And then the joke starts over, and all of a sudden, Ellen's all cooperative with the joke. And Twitch's face is like this. You can call it all kinds of things, including conspiracy theory. Feel free. But here's our take. Could it have been that that facial expression, after having been spoke to about tapes, meant that Twitch possibly knew something about what had transpired at these parties between Ellen and Diddy? Could he have been either privy to, found out accidentally, had the information, and his face was like, "Oh, crap"? Or was it that he said, "Oh, what could that mean?" In either case, could it have been the catalyst for his demise? Could it be? This is where we're going to enter into conspiracy theory. So just run with us real quick, okay? Just put on your running shoes, be Usain Bolt, Michael Johnson, whichever you want to pick. Run with us for a quick second. This is our theory. We kind of speculated at the time of Twitch's death that possibly Ellen had a hand in it. For whatever reason, she had a hand. Could it have been that he knew something about her on Epstein Island? That was our first concern. Or he knew something about her, how she dealt with her employees, or something in the background, an affair, something, all kinds of speculation. But this particular clip adds a little extra sauce to it, considering what we know about Diddy now. Considering what we have seen in the filings, all the information that's coming out about the kind of person Diddy was, the kinds of activities he participated in, and how he handled business. Could that have been the catalyst to end Twitch's career? Not just his career, but his life. In that short little blurb you saw there, it almost seems as though Twitch was put in a middleman position, having information and not knowing what to do with it. Could it be that he was heading to that hotel to get away to meet with somebody to give them said information? Could it be that when he went to that location and all this talk about, oh, he's cheating or he's trying to run away, he had a male affair, all this stuff that was coming out? Could it be that all of us were wrong and he was trying to get certain bits of information out to certain people without anybody else knowing, not to alert his wife, showed up at this location to hand off some information, and then, boop, you ain't doing that. We got to put things to rest. If this comes up to be a theory that's not, conspiracy, but actual reality, do you realize the implication? Look, we already know that Puffy might be going down for not just Tupac, but Biggie's as well, right? We figured kind of like that. And then he might be going down for his ex-wives too. There are tons of people that have been involved in this man's life that have just gone bye-bye. No one ever added Twitch into the mix because, heck, I don't know how long that video has been out there. I don't know how many people made the connection. I don't know how many people saw his face and thought, hey, that was a threat. But what I can see, I got two eyes, it ain't AI. There was something obviously off about the conversation that happened in between the time the joke was told the first time and the second time. The other part that gave us pause was why mention those particular things when the joke itself had nothing to do with that? You're just handing off a T-shirt, and you're in the handing off of the T-shirt. This awkward exchange happens, and the first thing Diddy has to say, "You know how far back we go? Why don't you tell these people how far back we go?" Now, for me, look, I'm watching the dude, and I'm reading the transcripts of all of the cases, and I'm seeing something here that this man knows how to manipulate. One, and he knows how to pass a threat without passing a threat publicly. He knows how to do it. He's really good at it. Now, suppose this was one of those things. Hey, you know what I'm capable of, right? Right, you do know, right? You understand how far back you and I, you understand the kinds of things we've done together. And then right after that, the joke was about the T-shirt. You mentioned tapes. Now, I understand we've had some speculations about whether or not tapes actually existed. Were the tapes there? Are there tapes? Did the FBI have the tapes? Were they burned? Of course, you know that Courtney B doesn't have them. But at the same time, we know that there might have been, and when the FBI raided, they picked up something. Whether they still have them or not, unknown. But you mentioning tapes in this joke doesn't seem to add up. It doesn't seem to fit. It's misplaced. It's almost as though it was a threat. Now, if you remember, Jaguar, whether you like her or not, had said some things about Diddy. She said specifically that he likes control. He loves him some control. Even throughout the documents, again, in the court records, everyone says the same thing. If he's not in control, he loses his mind. The joke is happening. And I've seen this portion of Diddy before in wrap up battles and stuff like that. But you look at him and he's telling him thing and he's trying to get her to get with it. And she's just kind of, okay. And in his mind, that narcissistic side of him is like, if you don't get, girl, you're making me look bad. I'm gonna have to tell you what I can do, and then maybe you're gonna straighten up and fly right. And she sure did. Right after that was said, the joke went off, woo, smooth. However, if you look at Twitch, his face never changed. Even after that exchange, his face stayed in a state of shock. Now, y'all can say, well, that was just because two people were having an awkward moment. He didn't know how to interact between the two, and he was just kind of a bystander. But Ellen's still alive, and so is Diddy, and Twitch is not. There were all kinds of speculations about Ellen to begin with her Epstein looking set. And everybody used to talk about Diddy. The only person that wasn't spoken about like that was Twitch. But he's the only one no longer here. Everybody was talking about Ellen might have been behind it. Would it have been so far fetched to think that both her and Diddy might have had a hand in it because he might have had something either on them, about to talk about them, or even was speculating about it? Again, conspiracy theory. We just happened to have our bulbs kind of got and it blew. And this is what we came to. It is quite possible that in all, and remember, don't forget too, Ellen said she's leaving. You haven't seen hide nor hair of her really on any kind of social media platform. Why are you running? Why would you try to escape all of a sudden? Could it be that she knows exactly what might come down the pike at her? If Diddy is implicated in this and word gets out that she was indeed behind or at least had a hand in the ending of the life of Twitch, at the behest or with cooperation from Diddy, this could be a massive, massive, massive issue. Much less if they put her at also behind Anne Heche's removal. Remember, her ex. There's a whole lot of stuff that could come out because of this. Again, speculative, of course, yes. But a whole bunch of things happen because of speculation. Crimes are solved because of speculation. Guilty pleas are found because of speculation. The truth is found by speculation. You can tell us your thoughts about it, but I think we might be onto something. I'm not saying it's 100%. For now, we'll call it 25, 30%. Maybe you can add a few things to it and see if we are right. You might know something more about the Twitch situation that might be like, well, you know, that sounds feasible. There were some other things going on. Some of y'all know more than us. But from what we've been investigating, this does not seem just a one-off joke. Mm-mm. You know how Hollywood does stuff? They do stuff to this kind of they poke fun at you, knowing that they know what they know and thinking you will never know, so they'll say it out loud and you will never figure it out. This could be one of those things. Of course, Diddy didn't ever have a problem threatening people in public. He's done that his whole life. Ellen, on the other hand, She had a reputation to uphold, which is why I think she went ahead with the joke. But whatever the reasons are that Twitch is no longer here with us, whether by his own demise and doing, or that he had information on people that could end him, the fact of the matter remains, he's not here. And the fact of the matter remains that the two that were on stage with him that did not have that expression on their face still are.